Every scientific theory must be consistent with the physical facts which are relevant to it and must be able to make predictions which are testable. If a prediction fails, the theory must be discarded or modified at very least. For the last 30 years we have heard predictions about imminent tipping points. Not one of those predictions has eventuated. Strike one against the theory. None of the climate models, GCMs, has ever produced a prediction that bears any resemblance to what actually happened. Strike two. I expect that half-mad Swedish high school dropout will be 100% mad when she wakes up one morning in 2030 and finds she hasn't been boiled alive in 50 meters of seawater. A few years ago I noticed that NOAA had run a backcast using one of its GCMs. The results seemed to fit actual temperature history pretty well. I was able to get a copy of the GCM code and the data NOAA used. Surprise, surprise, not really. What they had done was artificially adjust the concentration of particulates in the atmosphere until the output matched reality. The published results were a big, fat fraud. That is, public servants had used public money to defraud the public. Great work if you can get it. That was not the first fraud, of course. Michael Mann's infamous hockey stick was a fraud. The use of Michael's trick by the climate unit at University of East Anglia was another. The scaling of Al Gore's famous graph was another, and so on. A few weeks ago I saw Professor Mark Howden on TV waxing lyrical about the fires we are having here in Australia. He said they were caused by, you guessed it, climate change. I phoned him. He said, and these are his exact words, no. I said potentially caused. Don't you like the weasel word? When he said that he already knew I have a degree in chemical engineering and had probably forgotten more about physics that morning than he ever knew. That's why he weaseled out. Anyway, I knew he was lying, so I kept an eye out for him. Sure as night follows day, he popped up again on Monday and waxed lyrical about how the fires are caused by climate change, no, potentially. This time I was able to find the interview on YouTube and downloaded it. I've got the lying bastard cold. Just wondering how to do it to him. Everyone is used to the assertion, the science is settled, to shut down objections to it. We used to get that from a female prime minister who wouldn't know the difference between science and voodoo. As far as I can see, the only science that is settled on this subject, because there are no contrary observations, is the bit that says CO2 is a greenhouse gas in that it absorbs and re-radiates IR radiation in the 2.4, 3.7 and 15 micrometer bands. Anyone who says the science is settled is a liar. My point here is that any scientific theory that can only be shown to be valid by using false data or other dishonest methods is not a scientific theory.